Friends, this is a new bill which is put before Parliament, and this will be bill effective from 1st April 2026. The PPT of this presentation would be available in blog, Nitin Pathak, blogspot.com, and email. You can email me regarding this through nitin@gmail.com or WhatsApp me. There will be key insight is being taken care here. There are PPT and YouTube, a lot of presentation is relating to this new bill. I'll be putting it in a blog in a PPT form so that anyone wants to understand the concept, they will be able to get it. Okay. And we are going to talk on 21st February, 6:30 p.m. on Zoom as well as physical. You can join through blog. The subject is how to be successful CV, how you can, which is going to be discussed there. Our in-depth analysis of budget would be available on blog, which was already published in YouTube, and PPT will be available on blog. There are art of investments, stock market in 1 and 2 is already on the blog in terms of PDF as well as YouTube is available. You can join Nitin Pathak through YouTube. There was direct text budget economic survey is also taken care. There are a number of presentation is available on blog. Now coming to the bill in proper, last bill was Income Tax Bill 1961. That has become law. Then during all these years, because of the need of the hours, economic law requires a lot of changes. There are 4,000 changes, which makes the law very bulky. Now, if you look at the bulk of the budget, Income Tax Act, now it will be reduced to one half. All before coming to this bill, which is introduced in the Parliament, and would be sent to panel for their discussion, their suggestion. And before coming into that, 20,176 suggestions were received from stakeholder. They were categorized into obsolete language, requirement, and the same is taken care. Each and every steps were taken care. In 2009 and 2019, the proposed amendment new bill was planned, but it could not come into existence because of one or other reason. But that idea was also taken into consideration. And the other one is in Australia and UK. There is recently this law has been changed from old to new, and whatever the suggestion, whatever the issues which are coming to the picture is also being taken care in this income tax new bill 2025. I am going to take another, which is in-depth analysis, which is right now, this would be for 1 hour talk. The next talk would be for around 3 hours, which contains everything in detail for professional. But this will give an overall view of what are the changes made in the budget. The budget is mapped for old section versus new section, which I have put it on a blog, which is published by government only. Each section with memorandum of understanding is there. There is a broad scope is also discussed there. Question answer session, which is around 45 questions, which gives the simplicity of the budget. Before coming into it would refer to the suggestion standing committee. After incorporating the same will be put in next parliament. It will be effective from 1st April 2026. The new act will be shorter, succinct, and simpler. There are no jargons, simplicity, no sketching of heads. New regime and old regime will still continue. New act has taken care of all the changes made in this budget is also taken care into this new budget. In the old one, there were 823 pages. Now it has been reduced to 622 pages. Section has been reduced to 298 words to 536 sections. Sections have been increased to simplify, and all the sections are compiled at one place. The word which I said the bulk would be reduced to almost one half. 5.412 lakhs words were there. Now it has been reduced to 2.6 lakhs words. 1,200 provisions and 900 expressions have been removed. The act passed, this is already taken. These are the reason: accumulation of amendment, intricate language, detailed provision, redundancy in heavy structure. Income tax is a dynamic, needs change over a period of time. I've already covered in my talk. The changes in pronouncement in the business, the finance minister has already said it will be concise, lucid, easy to read and understand. The new suggestion is revised, which I said there are 2,000, there are so many suggestions: policy-related, language-related, removal of doubt, and obsolete. There are 57 tables as compared to 18 in the last Income Tax Act. Simple language, multiple situation was there in section 10. There were 150 clauses. Now it's been covered in concise way. In the case of provision relating to NPO, which I have covered in the next, because NGO has become the biggest issue. The first change is that there are called tax year. The concept for previously there was tax year, assessment year, financial. There was previous year. There's been a lot of problems. So they have said only tax year. Tax year means the year for the purpose of consideration of income. The unit period of taxation. And financial means the financial is the year for the purpose of timeline and compliance and procedure aspect. So financial year and tax year is the only two words that have been used as compared to four words which are used in the previous year. It becomes so simple. Any layman can understand because of the tax year and the financial year. Tax year means the period for which taxation is considered. Financial means for the purpose of compliance, what date you need to file return, timeline and compliance procedure would be in the financial year. Okay. TDS and TDS can be made easier by providing the table. In TDS, non-resident, there is a different table, resident, there is a different table. And all tables are made comprehensive so that you don't need to refer so many judgments and laws. And all the words which are used, all the sections, all the words and things are used, so that the judgment which has been referred in the old law will still continue to be here, and this is also considered. For salary class, they have made the provision very simple. They've covered schedule. What is the schedule? Okay. Schedule 2 and perquisite rules are made. So there are schedule 2. There are only for salary class, if you read schedule 2, all the sections are covered perquisite rules. If you read these two, all things are covered there. So you don't have to go into too many sections and this thing. Exempt income and specified person income is specified, which I have detailed here, explained in the later slide. After the bill proved to become operational, it has been sent to legislature for framework. The framework is already started. Notification of new rules and forms are already under process. This would be effective from 1/4/2026. So before that, simultaneous exercise, the PM part is taken care. So before the act would be coming to Parliament, any of the suggestion would be that there is a back office work is going on, including the changing in software, simultaneous exercise of software development, set up the system and process for various administrative and quasi-judicial function, notching the rate, and all the provisions of finance tax taken care. कोई भी रेट में change नहीं है. New bill contain profit and gains and business and profession is as it is, depreciation is as it is, bad debts provision are as it is, actual and actual value and WW value. For the purpose of cost of fixed asset, they have said that GST, when you are claiming GST, that will be carved out for the purpose of depreciation. So value in the books of account for cost of that. GST, when you claim as a deduction or take as a rebate, it will be for a set off. as a IGST, as an input credit. GST will be reduced to that extent and it will not be considered as an actual cost. Expense in scientific remains the same. The foreign exchange currency, there was a different provision. They have made it very easy. Say that only one word, increase in variation in liability is the word being used. For the important projects, let's say we have covered very important provision and then prepare a chart. I want to finish it within 15-20 minutes. So I'm not going into details. I would have a detailed presentation which is going to come later on. એ વખતે હું સેક્શન ટુ સેક્શન વર્ડ ટુ વર્ડ બધું જ સમજાઈશ અને બેઝિકલી એ તમારા પીપીટી માટે છે. You can use the PPT at the later stage. Some of the provision which is explained, section 6 of Income Tax Act provides the condition of stay in India for 60 days. First, the word was for the purpose of employment outside. Therefore, the purpose word nikal diya for employment outside India. Entertainment allowance has been removed. Section 38 of Income Tax allows the deduction of revenue income regarding the premises of business. Section 31 regarding the provision of repair insurance. Income tax but new bill proposes to combine the provisions into fair proportion of deduction. Suppose you incurred the expenses for the purpose of then the fraud proposal between business and professional, partially used for personal, partially would be differentiated. This is being clearly mentioned. So some of the car or some of the house which we have bought it and we are using for the purpose of business purpose and partially for other purposes has been differentiated within the state. ITB provided that GST is excluded, which I already covered in my talk. Information technology and company secretary. The board has been explicitly included in the special profession which were previously separated. Further, in authorized representative form, artist proposed to be removed. Section 56(2) gift received by an individual from his lineal descendant, and descendant was defined by putting a chart, are not chargeable income tax new bill. It is explicitly mentioned that lineal ascendant and ascendant, including maternal and paternal, would be included for the purpose. The word used maternal and paternal was not used, now it's been used here. Section 64 of the income tax, where the individual has a substantial interest in a concern any time from the concern by way of a salary, commission, free or the remuneration paid to the spouse. Now this previously there was the provision that if any provision, salary, commission and fees paid to the spouse, there should be some special qualification according to the law is required. Here now they say that no special qualification is the requirement. If they work, it covers the cases applied technical professional knowledge experience without formal qualification. Now there is no formal qualification was required, which is condition in the old bill, old act. Now in new bill, there is no provision like this. It is proposed to remove the first condition and to the qualification, the second condition along the side of knowledge and experience. Thus, income could be attributed to the application of technical profession. Now we know that somebody is not having passed the exam, somebody is not professional, but they worked in the field for so long, so they are eligible to give this experience and knowledge to the firm. So there are many ways your professional qualification is not required. Your experience works better than that. If you look at the Modi Saab or so many persons at the helm of affairs, as a chief minister or as managing director, where main qualification is not important, is being taken cognizance by this law. Income tax budget does not contain a provision corresponding to the 7th provision of Income Tax Act, which specifies that circumstances under the income tax must be foreign travel, turnover, gross exceeding threshold. However, the board has been given in this new budget that does not contain 7th provision, which was previously there. But now the return filing was mandatory, would be decided by the board by form of a circular. The board has been given the power to seek the details of credit card held by the SSC, exceeding the threshold of it, particularly in the principal place of business. So instead of providing in the law, they have given the wide power to board of directors, to the CBDT board, to frame a rules and regulations, rules and pass that. Power of valuation to estimate the value of asset defined within the meaning of Section 30 of Wealth Tax. The explanation 147 of IT Act provide you can reassess all those income of his notice. Subsequently, in the course of such process, even if the procedure prescribed 140 was not followed, Section 279 new clause of the IT bill expand the scope of validity process even if the notice is not issued and sanction of the issue is not within the corresponding section. So there were certain conditions which was available previously there under section 147 and 148A has been dropped. Income tax budget expand the scope of the word information to initiate the reassessment. It also includes direction given by approving panel. There were cases when an appeal, reference, or revision or court of proceedings initiate the information. Previously, the information does not contain the appeal, reference, or revision. Now that has been added in the budget in the form of an information. Okay. ITA Act provision of AO requires information in a faceless manner under section E verification. The notice issued without following the procedure under section 48A of the Income Tax Act. In such cases, prior approval of the specific authority was mandatory under section 148. The two situations have been added to that where no such notice is required to be issued and prior approval of the specific authority is not required. The direction is approved by approving panel. Approving panel means appeal, reference, revision by the court, declaring the arrangement permissible with these things. This act by way of an appeal, reference, and revision by court in any proceeding under any other law. Okay. So there is a huge increase in the gap period. Limitation, they've expanded the what previously what they've been saying, they want a certainty. Now that uncertainty has been prevalent more than before. Increase from 3 year and 5 year to 4 year and 6 year. The limitation period which was available under section 148A was 3 years and 5 years. It has been reduced to 4 and 6 years. So these are the period in which the financial, at the end of the financial year, the provision for reopening was available. That has been increased. Now again, the limitation period to issue notice of reassessment under clause 280 of ITB, income will corresponding 148, increase from 3 and 3 months in 5 and 4 months to 4 months, 4 years and 6 months. So 1 year is increased. No notice under section 280B of income tax shall be issued within 1 year from the end of the expiry year, next year. Corresponding 140, previously there was a provision, no notice under under clause 280 of the budget shall be issued within 1 year from the end of the period. There is no change in the limitation period to complete the assessment except the limitation to give extend from 3 months to 6 months. Total limitation period may extend to 9 months. So everywhere there across the board, they have changed the quarter, month to quarter, and period has increased from this some period to 1 period. And approving panel, whenever there is a reference and appeal is happened in the case of tribunal judgment, High Court and Supreme Court, they have given the power to reopen the cases through panel. Section 156 of the Income Tax provides that where a demand notice is issued to an employee of an eligible startup to pay tax on perquisite arising from ESOP, he shall be liable to pay within 40 days from the date. Inter 48 months expire from the date of the assessment year of ESOP. Income tax bill extend the time limit from 48 months, 60 months from the end of the relevant period. The income tax bill provides that the order of block assessment must be passed within 12 months from the end of the month which last authorization for a search and requirement. Finance Bill 2012 proposes to changing the time for completing the loss assessment to 12 months from that of the quarter is last to the exit. The ITB can retain the original time limit of 12 months from the end of last for a search requires execution or or made. So are you getting it? So they've given the execution or the provision made. Section 197 of the Income Tax Act permits the SSE to apply for nil or lower deduction TDS. The benefit of nil or lower TDS is restricted to provision for making payment provided in the section. ITB provides broaden this scope. TDS for all payment you can apply for lower TDS. Section 2069 of the Income Tax allows buyer, licensee or lessee to apply for the assessing officer for a certificate permitting the collection of tax at lower rate. The application can be made for some transaction. ITB provides the expand the scope allowing the buyers to apply for. So instead of seller, the buyer can also apply for that. The provision of 69A and 69B regarding underreported money or asset have been included in clause 104 of income tax bill, while considering 69 has been explained in 103. So 69 and 69B is being combined. 69A has been, some of the important provision is explained. Section 69D of the provides that the borrowing of a hundi. In 69D there was a word from borrowing and hundi. Now it's been replaced with the word any negotiable instrument act. The mandatory requirement of giving an opportunity of being heard to the SSC before a had been proposed to be removed. So there were penalty for failure to answer the question, sign the statement, further information, return of statement. They said that it's a straight jacket. You're not come and answer. There is no reason. There should be mandatory penalty should be levied for not answering the penalty proceedings. Answer नहीं दिया, statement send नहीं किया, information submit नहीं किया, return submit नहीं किया. So it would be like a fees. You don't answer, pay the penalty. Penalty for failure to comply with the provision section clause 254 old budget 133B under Income Tax Act. There were certain information needs to be collected. Once you have not submitted details, there will be an automatic clause for penalty. So there won't be any hearing for these cases. It's very funny. It's not constitutional, but it has been made. Penalty for failure to comply with the provision under 39A of a PAN number. PAN number नहीं दिया और PAN number गलत दिया. Automatic penalty. Penalty for failure to comply with the provision under section 203 of the Income Tax, failure to furnish the return such a non-cognizable offence. ITB proposes that the prosecution under clause 476 of the Income Tax Budget section 276 with non-cognizable offence, and it can be initiated only with the prior permission of PCIT. Further, if a person is convicted for the same offence under this section, again then regular settlement. एक बार अपने एक section में punishment दिया तो next time it would be less than minimum 6 months and more than 7 months. Penalty would be 7 years penalty would be levied. The search and seizure. The expression any books of account of the document has been changed to any books of account, any information stored in any electronic form and computer system. Now, the books have been replaced or been added with a word in any electronic media computer system, maybe in a cloud mode also. This is the word. Everywhere they have made the changes in electronic media or a computer system. Because computer systems sometimes have the data here and there. Once you combine, it would be available. But it is said that it is a computer system or electronic media. 132 of the Income Tax Act empowers the authorized officer to exercise certain powers where he has a reason to suspect that books or assets are kept in any place, building, or aircraft. One such power is to break open the lock of door, box, locker, shelf, almari. In this new budget, the provision expands the scope of empowering authority by overriding access code to any computer system or virtual digital space where the access code thereof is not available. So what was happening? Most of the time, data is on cloud or in computer virtual digital asset. Until you have an access code, it will not be able. This expand empowering authority to give an access code. So computer is being acknowledged, computer क्या बोलते हैं, anomaly, computer complexity have been recognized and being put on paper in this new income tax bill. Section 132(3) of the Income Tax Act provides that assessing officer can pass a restraint order where it is not practicable to seize the books of account or other document, money, bullion, or jewelry, or other valuable article or things. ITB adds computer system, bank lockers, bank account in the list of asset for which restraint order can be passed. So it includes VDA. 132(4)(a) and 292(c) income tax contains a legal permission presumption against this person, which includes now ITB expands the list of assets include VDA, virtual digital space, electronic content record and communication phone and computer system. So what they recognize virtual digital asset as an asset, virtual digital space as an asset, electronic content record and communication on a computer system. So this is across the board. They have added the word of this kind of nature, then how to contain that, how to collect it, how to store it, how to use it, how to digitalize it, and how to prove in the court that these are the same data which is being used. There is an algorithm or a hash total would be made, and the hash total would be copied, and then there would be a data use. So hash would be a digital signature, which would prove that whatever data is collected from computer system, VDA, is still become a valid data, is being used in this way. Section 130 empowers the income tax authority to conduct surveys, gather verified tax. During the survey, authority can inspect the box. Now the ITB extends the scope beyond books and other computer system, anything but connected with system and virtual digital space. So during survey also this provision is added. The ITA provides power to income tax authority conducting survey to record a statement of any other person may be relevant to any proceeding. ITB requires that such statement must be recorded by the tax authority on oath. During the survey, there were no statement were recorded on oath. Now it is decided to take it on oath also. Transfer pricing, there was a mechanism by which they say that you make say transfer pricing 2-3 method and then make an average. They said no arithmetic mean is been removed. ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग पहला तो कहता था नहीं कि આપણે શું કહેવાય cost plus method transfer क्या बोलते हैं external का internal का cost plus method sales resale minus this thing, these are all being reduced to arithmetic method. So they said only one method would be used, multiple method, plus arithmetic method has been removed. And let me remind you that this time there is a block of 2 years have been made for the purpose of transfer pricing. If the SSC can choose it, if the block they can choose it. This is an option given in this budget also, because most of the time transactions remain the same kind. Income tax provides that where during the pendency of any proceeding, any SSC creates a charge or a part of possession or of any of his asset in favor of another person, such charge or transfer shall be void as against the claim in respect of tax or this thing. Asset means land building, but now includes virtual digital asset. IT amends the definition of asset include virtual digital assets. ITA provides section 293 empowers the government to take a faceless scheme for registration or approval. ITB has proposed to expand government power. Government can now introduce faceless scheme for any purpose. But the government has power to amend and modify any faceless scheme. So no faceless, there were so many things were coming and government was not able to conclude it. Now government they're given a power that they can make for the purpose of faceless assessment any rules, regulation in made their behalf. With this, I'm concluding this session. Okay. Thank you very much. More on this later on. Okay. Friends, we are continuing with our talk, which was on the budget. I have already covered so many things. Now I'm coming to the last part of it, where we have prepared a chart uh, on the basis of which you can be able to conclude so many things. And this is a very short, long slide, but this will be available on PPT. Because of this PPT, you will be able to understand the things very clearly. With this, I'm going to, there are three bases of provision: old provision, new provision. What are the major changes which has happened? So this I'm going so fast, so you may not be able to understand what I'm saying, but you will be able to understand on the basis of PPT available on the blog, which will be there. So first concept, first column is the basis of charge. What they have done, they've changed the charge to one for tax year. Tax year is a period on which the income is accrued or income is a rise or deemed to accrue or rise, which is fallen in the period. And the financial year is the date by which, for the purpose, financial year is the on which the compliance provision has to be made. ये डेट के पहले रिटर्न भरने का, ये पहले से पीरियड असेसमेंट कंप्लीट होना है. These are the way things have been mentioned in the financial year concept. There were definition which was there in here and there. Section 2 was there. Now it has been consolidated at one place, including virtual digital and electronic mode is explained. So more or less, the definition remains same, because what they have taken care, the judgment and the concept clarity, which is already evolved over a period of time, they see that it doesn't change. So they have carried forward most of that a copy paste. Wherever only required, they made some change. So streamlining the introduction by the terms called modern economic transactions, that has been taken care. The scope of total income is almost section 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which we have read over a period of time. So I am 60 plus, so I've read since my college days. Almost the same concept is still there. Only for the purpose of clarity, some here and there, some explanation is added, some rules are made. Resident, non-resident, resident but not ordinary is the section 6 we have read for years and years. Now, only what has happened over a period of time, digital transaction has increased, the complexity has increased. So, some additional guidance is provided on the residence status, but almost all is same. Head of income, we know that salary, income from house property, PGBP, capital gain, income from others. Almost it remains same. Only certain virtual digital asset has been added and online clients have been added at here and there. But most of the head of income remain the same. 1 second. The capital gain. The capital gain section, short term, long term, speculation, their concept remains the same. But explicit rules are made for digital asset and treatment of new assets. Some of the new asset class which is arisen has been classified and rules are made therefore. Deduction and exemption, we were fond of having section 10 ATCUE. Now it has been converted into clause 11 and 14. They've made a table, introduced deduction for innovation, digital enterprise and renewable energy investment has been added as a new concept. Administrative provision, 139, when to file a return, when to file rectification. This had been covered in the old provision under section 139 to 158, is now covered in the clause 263 to 389. Emphasis is that there are a lot of automation has happened, transparency happened, and reduced human intervention. So most of the notices are issued through digital. This thing, mailing is done. Mail is from the server of the income tax department, and they have been thrown open to the server by which the income tax department has no control. So the dispatch of notice, when the department server has no control to see that the SMTP protocol is followed, and then they don't have a power to get back this mail, is a date on which the notice is served. is the definition. For that, whole new rules are made and whole protocol is made for the purpose. Sometimes digital signature is done automatically. These are the norms which have been creating an issue, has been totally taken care by this way. So as soon as DIN number is created, the digital signature has happened, but still it is in the server of the institute, server of the IT department, or under the control. They cannot get back the mail. Is the date on which the notices are. They have automated, but the date, as I said, is the most important date, which is the date on which the government, income tax department have no control to get back the mail. Is the date on which the notice is served. Administrative control, anti-avoidance study, GAR provision is being extended to a very large extent. GAR means transaction-based audit. The transaction is admissible and inadmissible. This were commercial substance. A lot of definition is added. Strict check had been made. So anti-GAR provision has been extended to a very large extent. NPO and NGO I've already covered, so I'm not going to say any word on that. But they have made 6 chapters there. The chargeability, section 15 has been very effective. They don't make much change, but to make structural and ESOP provision, they made some here and there clarification we made, but more or less it remains the same. But perquisite rule has been extended to include some certain digital asset, which has been many times handed over to the employee. Deduction almost same. Education allowance has been dropped. Profit in lieu of sales. Broader applicable special in case of a area. So sections whole section is made into one clarity. So that has become a very relief provision. So for the purpose of service, there are only 2 things: perquisite rule and schedule 2 or 3, whatever maybe, is to be checked. And I have given the slides by slide presentation to differentiate between these two. The chargeability of section 10, almost income from house body remains, no significant change been made. But for the purpose of brevity, I made a presentation qua income tax, qua provision, and clarity has been explained. And in my presentation or in the government department, what are the old section, what are the new section, is also available on YouTube. So you'll be able to determine so many things there. Section 23, annual value is deemed higher for rental value, actual rent, it allows deduction. Annual value is meant higher or reasonable expected rent or actual rent provided for deduction for local authority tax. Explicitly allow for exclusion such as unrealizable. Firstly, unrealizable rent was considered as taxable. Now it has been exempted. Vacancy allowance, there is no significant change. Vacancy allowance is the provision which you need to read in detail, but almost all is same, which I've explained for the purpose of this brevity here. Deduction from income, section 24, 30%, 2 lakhs, same almost, aligned broadly with the same. Self-occupied maintains a similar scope, but simplifies the applicable role. Self-occupied, first there was a reason they have to give the reason why they are staying in the same place, same city, and why your house is vacant. But now it is deemed vacant means whatever reason is not asked. The reason is not going to be asked. Unrealized and aligned with the current tax law, improved language for clarity, but there is no property as a stock in trade. No specifically, now not specifically treated as general provision of business. Clause 21, 5 of the property held as stock in trade are deemed to have nil annual value for 2 years from the end of the financial for completion of the BU permission. Introduce specific relief period for property which is stock in trade. This is the one stock in trade for a business. Those who are a builder, they are not able to sell a property for 2 years, for more than 2 years of the completion of this BU. They have made a specific provision. Property is owned by co-owner, no significant change. As is being said that if you're a joint holder, the property will be charged on the proportionate basis on the which you held the asset. Section 28 specifies the income chargeable under the head profit and gains, including profit from business, trade, and vocation. No structure, but language, the business PGBP, there is no change, only structural change, definition change, the word change, and law remains the same. Deduction allowable section 32, 37 has been transferred to clause. Modernization of country condition for expenses for digital expenses. Bank charges and certain expenses which are incurred for the purpose of payment to digital would be allowed as a deduction. No major change in depreciation provision, but only fixed asset which includes GST. If it is GST is claimed as a set off, then it will not be a part of fixed asset. Hence, the depreciation will be available 100 minus plus GST 118. You will be allowed depreciation on 100 only because 18 you have claimed as a set off. So that this would be the way the provision is considered. Section 4040A, list of non-allowable expenses such as payment to non-resident without tax deduction and excessive payment to a related party. Clause 35 and 36, similar provision but include detailed rules for related party transaction. Expanded the scope of modern business practices which is being used in the business. Income from speculative, updated rules for consider specific speculative digital transaction has been added. Amortization rules have been simplified. The definition calculation has been simplified. Scientific research, they want to expand the scientific research expenses because India has become a hub of scientific research. They would increase the broader the definition, presumptive taxation. 44A small business 48 retains the presumptive but includes updated turnover limit and streamline the criteria for small and business, adjusted turnover limit and simplified criteria. They have made a table and calculation is also duly explained. Once the law becomes effective from 1/4/2026, there would be a lot of calculation would be available simply on the table only. Special provision for startup, dedication provision for startup has been with high employee protection is made. Introduce explicit provision for eligible startup, include 100% tax exemption for 3 consecutive years within period of last 3 years out of 10 years. So 10 साल में 3 साल तक आपको 100% tax free है. The year in which you make a choice is being those startup who is generating then employment exchange for the purpose of country because country has a lot of population. Chargeability of Section 25, no significant change in matter of man considered as a scope and intent. STCG, LTCG, holding period adjustment for certain asset like digital asset, but otherwise there is no change. Previously there was Section 248 and now Clause 72 contains everything. Computation of capital gain Section 48 to 50. Now language of modernization and coverage of new asset categories like digital asset. So as such, the methodology in everything remains same. So new law is made just to simplify the language and certain provision. So for the purpose of concept clarity, it remains the same. For competition, we retain the same methodology with additional clarity in competition of modern asset business like that. Exemption from reinvestment, consolidation is made, and clearer provision for reinvestment of exemption is made available. Cost of acquisition, enhanced clarity for special situation and valuation mechanism. Section 7, Clause 73 retains the provision for introducing the clarity for determining cost of acquisition specific such as inherited, gifted asset. जब आपको इनहेरिटेड एसेट मिली है, गिफ्टेड एसेट मिली है, तो उसका जो वैल्यूएशन वो प्रीवियस ओनर का है वही उनका रहेगा. उनके लिए इन्होंने प्रोविजन किया जैसे 1/4/2001 की जो वैल्यू गिनी जाएगी वो भी इनके लिए भी यही वैल्यू गिनी जाएगी. दैट इज द एक्सप्लेनेशन गिवन हियर. Capital on compulsory acquisition because of some complexity when the money comes in the case of compulsory acquisition. So they have modernized it, become very simple. The slum says Section 50, whole asset, whole business is sold, whole part of the whole unit or reorganization is sold. They have made some clarity for the purpose of business class. Similar provision with enhanced definition clever has been explained. Please refer clause 77 in there. I have compiled this for the purpose of clarity. Fair market value for consideration. 50C, if considered is less than stamp value, the letter is deemed to be full. So better alignment with the valuation reality of specific scenario. valuation reference, modern valuation technique explicitly included. There are many methods available. They have gone into the clarity. Now there is no qualification in certain times is required. 112A of a long-term capital on equity of mutual fund, improved clarity in concession and rate for and eligibility of threshold limit. Chargeability, section 56. No saving provisions, income from other sources, income not chargeable under the head in the taxable income of every kind not chargeable under the head is also included. This is a clarificatory explanation added or is revamped to make it very simple. Specified income may dividend lottery winning and rent from subletting include dividend. Excluded clarity for expanded clarity for digital earning asset is here explained in detail. Deduction allowed 57 allowed deduction include commission, realization income, repair and maintenance. Retail similar to explicit but explicit like banking commission for certain legal digital income. So काफी चीजें बैंक चार्जेस में खर्चा हो जाता था वो उन्होंने पहले बहुत मुश्किल से मिलता था बट इज बीन एडेड as a clarificatory amendment and now a clarificatory understanding has been added to the business this law. Amount not deductible, specified non-deductible expenses include personal payment outside without tax compliance. एनहांस एयरपोर्ट पर जब आपकी कोई भी एसेट है पर्सनल है बिजनेस एसेट है तो और इंटरनेशनल ट्रांजेक्शन है तो उन्होंने एक्सप्लेनेशन कंप्लायंस के लिए एक्सप्लेनेशन एकदम सिंपल कर दिया है. रिटेन सिमिलर रिस्ट्रिक्शन इंक्लूड स्ट्रिक्टर कंप्लायंस मेजर फॉर इंटरनेशनल पेमेंट एंड डिजिटल ट्रांजेक्शन. Family peasant 15,000 now it has been increased to 25,000. Increased deduction limit for family pension. Winning from not inclusive online game is included for the purpose of digital platform for taxation. Forfeiture of advance money, no change of treatment. पहले अगर forfeiture of advance money होता था तो it would be excluded from the cost of the purpose. It was not added to the income. But जब आप बेचते हो तो उसका टैक्स होता था. इन्होंने इसको सिंप्लीफाई कर दिया. No change in it, but clearer category from income from other source. Enhanced compensation. Taxable as income allowed 50% of such interest expenses. Retain similar provision of 50% interest on enhanced compensation is allowed. Maintain current as it is. Income from subletting. Section 57(3) allows deduction for rent paid for sublet of property. No significant changes. Maintain the existing provision for subletting provision. VDA is covered in deep. Now, income for virtual residents including explicitly income from other sources. New provision addressing the issue of digital, including cryptocurrency. VDA is going to be the day of time. More sooner or later, digital like cryptocurrency would be needs to be made legal because it has become a major this thing, and Trump is also accepting is in favor of cryptocurrency. Inquiry before assessment expanded the scope of asset and liability, including inquiry, codified audit-related procedures. So inquiry before written similar was included power to call detailed statement of asset and liability with reference to a special audit. Assessment procedure 143 regular assessment streamlined process with detailed provision of prima facie adjustment. 143(1) में जो भी एडजस्टमेंट होता था इनको प्रीमा फेसी जो ऑनलाइन दिखता है तो वो दे गॉट अ पावर टू डू दैट. दे हैव इन सर्टेन केसेस दे हैव मेड implied penalty which I've already discussed in my earlier talk. 144 limits AO to complete the assessment based on the base judgment if the taxpayer fails to comply. Similar provisions with added emphasis on procedural regards and opportunity for taxpayer. Faceless assessment. So this faceless assessment is creating a lot of law, rules and regulation needs to be made. They have made an absolute power to the central government to make rules and framework with regard to that. Fully codified faceless assessment structure covering all stages of combination compliance is being made going to be made, and they are being allowed to make rules according to their requirement. Reassessment, similar process, strict timeline. Timelines have been changed, which I already discussed in our earlier slide also. But they've extended time, 4, 5 to 6 years have been extended, and they have gone quarter-wise on the quarter basis, and the time limit is also extended, which I've already covered in my earlier discussion. DRP, foreign companies and transfer pricing, expanded applicable beyond foreign company, allowing domestic players to access to this mechanism. Broaden the dispute resolution plan applicable to improved tax redressal scheme, which is like I had been using DRP, but I don't know whether it's okay or not. But it's okay. Let the क्या बोलते हैं, wisdom of the lawmaker be prevail, rather than I being a small player criticizing the uh, criticizing the change made in the law. Let them prevail over it. Section 142 may refer valuation for estimating fair market value. Retain the valuable but incorporate digital and forensic tools for enhanced accuracy assessment. Modernization of valuation method on the emphasis of technology. Now they have decided to collect a lot of information through a different technology and use this as a valuation technical tool. If you look at certain AI being used by even High Court, Supreme Court, Income Tax Department, GST Department, including SEBI, BSE. There are so many information coming. So they've implemented so many things on valuation also. First appeal, similar scope but with improved timeline and process clarity. First appeal introduce a new appellate level for lower ranking officer. फर्स्ट अपील में बहुत सारी अपीलें पेंडिंग है, तो उन्होंने जो पहले सीआईटी था उनको एडिशनल सीआईटी डीसीआई के लेवल पे भी उनको ये करके उनको काफ़ी चीज़ें निकालनी पड़ेगी. तो वो ऑफिसर बिलो द जॉइंट लेवल वुड आल्सो टेक केयर ऑफ द appeal which is lying at different stages. Appeal to appellate tribunal, retain core provision but withhold the streamlining the language. Appeal to a simplified guidelines for jurisdiction clarity. So that is not, there is no much change. Appeal to Supreme Court, procedural modernization aligns with the current legal practices. DRC, dispute resolution, expand the dispute resolution mechanism, include small text for a time limit for appeal. Consistent timeline, they have made a provision which is being implemented for the purpose of Q1, which I've already discussed in my previous slide also. And it has been appended in 2025 budget. AAR streamline the structure of advanced ruling, special provision of repetitive appeal, introduce the provision of reduce repetitive litigation. So whenever 1 year is there, allows the pending question to flow to the High Court or Supreme Court to avoid repetitive. What we covered right now is purpose of why the law has been changed, how it has been changed, consolidation is made, how they are going to have a new rule, how they are going to effect from 1/4/2016. Some whole software is being changed. It's been specially sent to selective committee of Lok Sabha to make change. So all consolidation change would be put before the session of Parliament. Act would be passed. New law will be made. New software is already under the made of provision according to the requirement. Financial and tax year will be implemented. They've already training their staff also. So this will be like this law would be effective very soon. They have made a question answer, and there is a link between old and old section is also made available in Block. I've discussed major changes in this law. Section by section PPT is a huge workload, which I want to avoid it. But by and large, many of the things are covered. Please join. I am Nitin Pathak. We have got a lot of PPT is available on blog, Qua GST, FEMA, IT and Art of Investment. Please go there and you can read it. You can contact. There are few of the slides which are available. I've said that art of investment in stock 1 and 2. I'm going to talk another art of stock of investment in 3. If you look at all the 3, you would be very clear how to invest the money in stock market. Economic survey already covered. Union budget is already available on blog. On 21st 6:30 p.m. I'm going to talk on how to be successful CA and how you can. This discussion is made to make the things very clear. Please join on 21st for any question answer on there. This is not the word CA used, but it is equally applicable to student. It will be applicable to even other businessmen also. I am saying that change the perception and law would change. Please join through YouTube, and one more visit. You can use it blog. With this, I'm ending this conclusion.